Hi, I'm RAUL ROA Estilista. Today we are going to talk about the degrees that we use and we need to perform a haircut. There are degrees that we learn in school where we're working on a single plane, looking at the horizon. 0 degrees, 45 degrees, 90 degrees, 135 degrees, and 180 degrees. It's basically what we drive and what we all know. But we work on a head which has 3 dimensions, and here's a slight change. Because we are not working on a plane, we are working on a 3-dimensional plane. What is the head? And here the theory changes a bit. And what I want to contribute is this part of knowledge to make it clear to you when we speak 90 degrees, 0 degrees, or 180 degrees. And obviously that is very clear to us when we have hair in its natural fall. We speak of a projection at 0 degrees. When we speak of a projection of a 0 degrees, we refer to its natural fall, or that we are forcing it with our fingers. To cut in its natural fall, we mean 0 degrees. And we are going to do elevations. There, if the gradation is important, so we talk about projection or elevation at 90 degrees. It is when it goes completely perpendicular to a hairline. We're taking 90 degrees. These 90 degrees can be anywhere in the head, maybe at the top. And we could also talk about projection in the back of 90 degrees. We are talking to 90 degrees. What can be a 90-degree projection? It is a projection on very birth of the lock that is projected at 90 degrees, which can be top back. On the sides, we can also do 90-degree projections. Now 45 degrees, remember that the wig was projected at 90 degrees. If I tilt it towards the middle, it will be 45 degrees. But it's also the same wig that I'm tilting at 45 degrees. I tilt her to the 45 degrees where I'm going to make the cut. I raise to 90 degrees and it goes to 45 degrees. It's okay, but someone tells me, well, I'm going to project it to 135 degrees. So I have the wig at 90 degrees. With respect to where I am, well, I follow the inclination and it will be one of the 135 degrees, that it would be the same that if I am here on the side and I work at a 45 degree, it would be to understand that it's the same, but it's not the same. For me in this position, it's a 45 degrees. At 45 degrees for my position, but if I change my position and I'm projecting 135 degrees, the wig with the respect to my position, 90 degrees, continuous to 135 degrees, but it is understood normally if I am speaking from a projection to the 135 degrees, I could say, and it's allowed, say that I'm bowing at 45 degrees, because for me it is an inclination 135 degrees. Why am I projecting it? But if there's a person in front, what is the projection watching is understanding that it's 45 degrees and it's understood perfectly and it is allowed, then we have no problem. Now let's talk about the 180 degrees. As explained previously, is when the wig, it moves completely on the same axis and it reaches 180 degrees. And this is where there's a little confusion, because I can raise my wig to cut at 90 degrees, but the wig that I'm going to cut with my guiding wig, what happens in some haircuts that I have uploaded, that people tell me that's not 90 degrees, it's 180 degrees. If they are right in both, because this wig, it's 90 degrees. The wig that I'm going to take to cut, see that the wig is born in its 90 degrees, but I'm going to take your cut to a guide wig that's 90 degrees. But the wig that I'm going to take, she's going to be at 90 degrees shift, at 180 degrees to cut. So that whereas the confusion kind of kicks in is because I'm sectioning a guide wig at 90 degrees. And I'm going to take the wig to the cutoff point, and it will suffer a displacement of 180 degrees. Another thing that is very important is to differentiate the cutting projection that would be at 90 degrees, but it can give a cutting incline at 45 degrees. It's very different, the projection or elevation of the wig to be cut, because I can make a specific design in the cut where I need a cutting incline at 45 degrees or 90 degrees totally straight. To recap, I'm going to rely on the images of Kin, a large cosmetics company, where we are going to be able to appreciate what we just talked about. And in the description of the video, I will leave the links of the social networks. 0 degrees when we cut the hair to its natural fall, or we take it, we force it in its natural fall to cut. 45 degrees with the tilt. What if we do it with a lower projection? I will achieve a slight layering every time I do it. The line will not be completely straight, but a slight overlay will be created. With that wig projection, 90 degrees when we project on its birth the wig and we cut. This guide wig can also be brought to the 90 degrees, and all the hair will converge to the point of the cut. Remember that projection will always come from the hairline, and it projects in the direction of 90 degrees, and we cut the way we want. Don't get confused when it's 90 degrees to think that projecting in 45 degrees. Let's remember that it's about the very birth. And there are also 180 degrees. What is when the wig to be cut is projected on a guide wig that we have already worked at 90 degrees. Each of those strands to be cut will have an angulation and 180 degrees trajectory. This projection at 180 degrees, it also occurs on the sides. Each of the strands will be cut on the guide strand at 180 degrees. I hope I have clarified the doubts regarding the graduation, what we use when we are working on a head, because we have a 3-dimensional structure. See you soon.